got carried away, if they started calling people names, if they used it abusively, then their rights got revoked. But generally, I didn't care. I didn't see why I should care. The problem was they knew they were only allowed to do it at home and that they weren't supposed to, you're right, they weren't allowed to do it at school or at their grandparents' house, places like that. The problem was they then occasionally would come home and be like, Mom, did you know damn was a cuss word? Yeah, that's a cuss word. They're like, man, got that they got me on that one today. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh gosh, it does suck. Damn and hell. Damn and hell were the two they got. My daughter got busted on. She's like, those are cuss words? Like, yeah, sorry. My dad he's one of those hardcore against cussing, right? Right. And so his wife one day went into a fit where she wanted to do like a fit. Oh, I bet, Izzy, I bet that's a huge thing. Um, nice. There you go. Um, my stepmom one day something happened and she wanted just to go on a string of curses, but she couldn't. So she literally started saying bleep 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 bleepity bleep bleep bleep, and I was like, dude, that is the weirdest thing I have ever heard. Like a human being in the room was straight up censored. It was the most bizarre thing. Right. I used to say summon a witch. Summon a witch was one that I made up. Um, but man, I'd go everywhere from trying to not say it by saying things like summon a witch to something like fuck a duck being in the language. Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, nice. Ah, see, there you go, Softy. That's what I'm talking about. Well, because, we've talked about it before in here, but when my son, oh, yeah, my son, when he started using a cuss word, um, he did it appropriately. Like he knew how to, he dropped something, he was annoyed, so he said shit. It wasn't to get attention, it wasn't to stir shit up. He just was like, oh, shit. And you can't get mad at them if they're using it appropriately. You're just like, uh-huh, yeah, that's how that would be used. There was a research article on how using cuss words in specific ways actually is useful to you. There is a physiological response that we have. hmm Um, like for instance, they did this little experiment where they had this lady come up and right, they had this kid or this lady come up and put her hand in a bowl of ice water. Okay, and they chose some sort of innocuous word for her to start saying whenever it got intense. When it got too intense, she would just start saying some word. I don't remember what the word was, like chair. You know what I mean? Didn't no context. Um, and they timed how long it was for her to be able to keep her hand in the ice water. And then after she was able to come back to temp and all of that, they let her do it again. And that time, they had her pick a cuss word. And when it got too intense, she started saying the cuss word. It actually makes it to where you can withstand pain longer. She was able to keep her hand in longer. There are physiological consequences. So when you look into what happens to your body, it can actually help you. Yeah. Oh, Izzy, I started so young. Hmm. Oof, that's not good. Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like it once you learn that it's actually something that can be useful to you. Granted, I overuse it, right? But it is legit useful. Oh, really? This is gonna take the rest of my life. Anybody know what time it is? I don't feel patient today at all. 1:34. Okay. Damn in hell. I got at least another hour on the meat anyways, so there's that. Maybe I should swap over and go ahead and start the rice. Yeah, I'm just impatient, Sky. Ah, yes. Nice. Hello, White Dove. Welcome. How are you? I think I am gonna go ahead and start the rice. We have at least got that going. And it'll change up what I'm doing a little bit, and that'll probably help. Oh no! Oh, it's your first time to cook and watch a cooking stream? I have a lot of people who end up doing it. Okay, let's do this rice thing. All right, I'm really hoping that I can get the rice to actually turn out well this time. Sounds like it. When you make rice, you should bring the water to a boil and then add the rice, right? It's one of those. I'm gonna make the long grain white rice for the stir fry tomorrow. Because what I read is that it's better to put the rice in cold water. Do you? Okay. No, I don't have a rice maker. Um, yeah, what I read was that you make the rice the day before if you want to make fried rice. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, the last time I made rice, honestly, didn't go that well. So I'm hoping it goes better this time. But I also didn't cover it and leave it alone. Mm, okay, yeah, I thought the rice was boiled or the water was boiled first, but I wasn't sure. That was how I had done it back in the day, but I didn't exactly research anything back in the day. So, room temperature, then boil it. There's a lot of different ideas on this, isn't there? Dang it. Hmm. Well, I guess we'll figure it out. Sounds like it. Okay. You just use your cooker. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess the only way we're gonna know is if we experiment. So, this time we'll add it in before we boil it. Next time, we'll see what happens if we boil it and then add it. That's about the only way I know to go, though. 1 part rice to water. What I had read was 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. Is that wrong? Yeah. Yeah, that was okay. Uh-huh. That was how I had done it back in the day. Mm-hmm. 1 part to 2 part. Okay. That's what I had thought. See, back in the day when I made it, I used to bring the water to boil. Cool. I did, I brought it to a boil and then I added the rice. That was how I did it back then. I just don't, haven't tried it any other way. I think it's supposed to cook for like 20 minutes. So, what I'm wondering is, do I start that once I turn it down to a simmer? Seems the most logical. Okay, gotcha. Tell her I said thank you. Okay, let's see what happens. The thing that happened when I made it last time is it just turned out very goopy. It was like what's it called? I forgot. I forgot what it's called. Risotto. Yeah. Yeah, it was like risotto. Um, which was not the intent. Now, everybody loved it, but it was not what I want. No, it's for I'm making stir fry tomorrow. So I need to make the rice today because they say it's better for stir fry to make the rice the day before. The cheesecake mixture is it's made out of soaked cashews, coconut, um, mhm, um, coconut cream, lemon juice, maple syrup, uh, ouch, vanilla extract. Beautiful. Yeah? Nice. This is too small. I think this is the wrong size. It is the wrong size. Mm, there it is. Okay. Keep an ear on that. Did you? Oh, good. I'm glad you liked them. Were they hard to make? Because I know it took a few times before Contra got comfortable with working with those. Sky. Izzy, when it's X3, what is that symbol for? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it is hard with the water, right? It's a lot of water in them. I actually, it's a minimum of letting it sit for 20 minutes. You can leave it much longer. Oh, oh no. Here we go. You guys buckle in. Okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure because I knew that the three could be used both as a cat face and as a heart. And so I wasn't sure what X3 was. Excellent. Just one glass. Just one. Just one. Uh-huh. We'll see. We'll see, Dan. These weren't so damn good. Oh. Oh, cool. Poor Dan. I watch without looking all the time. So, cool. Thanks for the follow. I've got a roast with sweet potatoes and carrots in the slow cooker. I've got rice on the stove for stir fry tomorrow. So we're prepping that. And I'm making these little mini pie crusts. And I have a filling that's like a faux cream cheese, right? Or not cream cheese, cheesecake. It's faux cheesecake made out of soaked cashews and coconut cream, vanilla extract, lemon juice, maple syrup. And so I'm going to cook these, and then I'm going to throw that filling in. Mm, we made the filling yesterday. I hear you, man. I hear you. I think the roast should be done uh mm, within an hour. I'm waiting for that rice to boil so that I can actually turn a timer on it. But we just got that started. And these take forever. So that's where we're at. Thanks for the follow. Oh, nice. It's not a lot of floor room, Izzy. I'll be honest. But I get the impression you're tiny, so I think it'll be okay. Maybe I'll prop you over on that counter over there. You couldn't see? I don't know what you mean. Me too? But what do you mean? Oh, the title. No problem. There's a little thing somewhere on the screen that says, I think roast and cheesecake, but I don't know where or anything. Um, a lot of people miss it. And my titles, like the titles to my streams, never say what I'm making. Almost never. That's what I got written. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm snarky with my titles though. Top right. Okay. We've got some really creepy eyes. There's the evil eye. That one's pretty creepy. Because I get a giggle out of the evil eye being our stream motif. One of our emotes is an evil eye, and then also the what do you call them? Symbols that protect against the evil eye. Ooh, ooh. How long do I stream? It really depends. I usually 3.5 to I've streamed as much as 9 hours before. Um, ooh, ooh. It just depends on what I'm making, however long it takes to make that thing. But I tend to go for quite a while. I didn't start until 10 today, so I'll probably go about 5 hours. Um, which means if I go 5 hours, I'll probably be done by 3 in the morning here. So another hour and a half. I don't blame you. Is it okay? Is your name Amilo Scary? Hey, thanks for the follow. I've got quite a few people in that I haven't seen before, so why don't I show you guys the TTS? You can hear your names, and then you can let me know what you want me to call you based on what TTS has done to your names. All right, one sec. Unmute TTS.
TTS is live.
Okay, this is how I keep up with chat. This is how I'm going to know what your name is. So, let me know if there's something particular that you want me to call you, if your name is being butchered.
They call me Taj, yawn. LCDR Dan, Thulu Note Occult. White Dove 160, I will sing you a genuinely laughing emote label for 20 Cuban pesos. Burnt Bean 05, Luis.
Luis. It's burnt bean is Luis. Louis or Luis? Luis, because this is Luis.
Elps Vita, Karush Kumpel Karush Kumpel Karush Kumpel Karush Kumpel Karush Kumpel Karush Kumpel Karush Kumpel
Helps
Karush
Vita?
Kumpel. One
Oh, that's
message was
gonna get the
deleted by a
bot.
moderator.
The bot's gonna
Streamlabs
get you.
timed out Elps Vita for 1 seconds. Streamlabs, Elps
Sorry.
Vita please refrain from spamming emotes. Since Misty is blind, they congest her TDS software and make it so that she cannot keep up with chat. Burnt Bean 05, that one. LCDR Dan, bot slapped.
Sorry, my bot will get you. We have a limit of, I think, 4 or 5 emotes before the bot will get you.
Danny Weiss 007, call
Hey,
me
Danny.
Danny. They call me Taj, it looks delicious though.
Thanks.
Fizzy Izzy Awo,
What
5
looks
but we
delicious?
say 4 to be safe.
Yeah. I think it depends on how much of the message it is, and like, there's
Unbranted,
factors.
wait,
So
is Misty blind?
Misty is blind.
Fizzy Izzy Awo, yes.
I am indeed.
Elps Vita, halat. Unplanted, my lord she is beautiful. Danny
Oh my God.
007, Danny.
Thanks.
They call me Taj, the emotes look delicious.
Oh, the emotes look delicious. Oh, what are they of?
LCDR Dan is building the damn sign baby rage raging baby emote. Fizzy Izzy Awo, it was a cake but named something lewd.
Ah, gotcha. Dan. I don't know that it would help. I really don't. I don't know that it would help, Dan.
They call me Taj, looks like a 2-layered cake. Fizzy Izzy Awo,
Oh,
similar to the
nice.
desserts Klaus ruined.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Burnt Bean 05, ready to ask but are blind.
Yes, I am blind. And you can ask. I don't, it's not a secret. I don't mind questions. Are you guys done with TTS or do you want to play more?
LCDR Dan, I can pretend that I'm hitting people with it.
You can, that's true.
Fizzy Izzy Awo, we are done.
Okay. Mute TTS. I know, Taj. I know. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. It is. Most of the time, people come in and they're like, "Hey, you're looking," or "Why aren't you wearing a blindfold?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't need to." Ah ha ha ha! There you are. Yeah, I hope you don't get it. Set a timer for 20 minutes. All right, let's hope on this rice thing. I saw you looking at your phone. Yeah, we've been real worried about Izzy. She's been very sick. Things seem pretty scary out there in New York right now, too. I, no. It's not. It's just it's a gluten-free. Are you? Excellent. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not excellent, right? It's not. But you know, I know depth perception is a major issue when you lose one, which is funny. I didn't know I didn't have depth perception because I've just never had it, and so um, it was one day that I was, I still had vision at the time. I was a young teenager, and I was looking up at this three-dimensional art piece that was hanging from the ceiling. The problem was I didn't know it was three-dimensional. I thought this was a flat art piece on the wall, and I said something to somebody about it, and they were like, "No, Misty, that's actually like a cube hanging from the ceiling." And I was like, "Oh." But I had just based depth perception on things like shadows. So I learned to interpret shadows for depth without ever having depth perception. So I don't actually know what people are talking about when they talk about having depth perception. Was there a time when you had the use of both of your eyes? Or is it just what you are accustomed to? Because I know that can make a big difference. I was, yeah. Right. I I was 5 when they diagnosed me with retinitis pigmentosa, and then, but I didn't know that I was. You just you use what you got. You don't know any different from what anybody else has got going on. They told me that I would eventually go blind. Um, hmm yeah, and I was legally blind for most of my life, but then in my early no, in my mid 20s, I had to finally be at the point where I was like, all right, yeah, I'm going blind. Like this is a real thing. I can't just deny it because I was faking it, man. I wouldn't use a cane. I didn't have a dog. I just made it work. But then I started getting hurt, and I had to admit that I was in fact blind. No, it's a degenerative retinal disease, and both parents have to have a recessive gene. And then if both parents have that, then it's it's like a pigmentation builds up, I think, in on the retina, and also parts of the eye die, like the light receptive parts of your eye. Um, but my brother and I both have the same parents. Uh, my other siblings are all half, and none of them have it, but they'll all be carriers. hmm Um, I will have given both of my kids the recessive gene. So it's feasible that they could have children that have it if their significant other has that recessive gene. But it's unlikely. And I'm kind of at this point in my life, uh, like if they did have a kid that was blind, it'd be a pretty the kid would be totally fine because there's a lot of resources between having family who gets it, who's already been through all this and learned and knows a lot of adaptational stuff that'll help. Because to me, it's it's not that bad. There's way worse things in life than being blind. You can still manage pretty much whatever you want. There's a few things you can't do. I can't drive a car, which blows. I'd love to drive a car, but there are lots of people with vision who can't drive a car. So whatever. Um, it's kind of one of those, right? Like it's not going to stop you from living your life. I it's difficult because Yeah, see, like it happens to people, right? It's not just me. Um, my mom felt such guilt for it. Like bitter? I wasn't bitter, actually. I don't think I was ever bitter. What was I? I was defiant. I was just defiant. I was bitter about the health issues that actually disabled me, which was the fibromyalgia and the chronic pain and that stuff. The stuff that put me in bed and kept me from experiencing life, that I was bitter about. Being blind, something to overcome. Yeah, yeah. You know who one of the people that actually works on that kind of thing is Sad Moody. Um, but that was just my perspective, right? The thing is there was so much other stuff that I lived through and dealt with that, yeah, that was just like not as big of a deal. So that's why when people like think it's super impressive, I'm like, well, that's really not the impressive part to me about what I overcame. Um, it's just stubbornness and general brattiness that got me through the vision loss, getting me through the other health issues. That took a lot more, lot more. I also had, maybe, Dan. It's hard to say. Um, there were probably advantages that I had, in that there were ways that things were accessible to me. There's programs through the state where they will help you get certain technologies and things like that if you're in school. So that's super useful. There's different things that made it to where it was a little bit easier for me to be successful. And when I was partially sighted, things were much, much easier in life as far as what people thought I was capable of. The most fascinating thing to me is that it's not so much that the vision took my ability away or the lack of vision took my ability away. It was more like the way that sighted people um, thought having my vision taken away would affect my capability took my capability away, right? So other people assumed that without vision I could not do A, B, C, D, and E, therefore never gave me the opportunity. Um, that was an issue. I can understand that. Yeah, yeah, and that's just a matter of you have to. Hey, nice to follow. Um, but getting a job, for instance, right? Like I would go and I would apply for a job and I'd be like, I can do this. I know I can do this. And they wouldn't hire me because they couldn't understand how I could do it. They couldn't visualize it. In their minds, I was a liability. And most of them were smart enough not to say it out loud. There was one particular person who did say it out loud, and that company paid for it because it was on the record. Oh man, everything. I applied for years, so probably 3 years. I just applied to hundreds and hundreds of different jobs. Um, Receptionist work. Yeah, yeah, they did. They did ask, but I just don't think they could really. What the lady who got caught, basically. was said to have gone back after my interview to the other people and said, man, this chick would be perfect for this job, except that she's blind. And that was for a receptionist job at a children's hospital. um, I applied at schools, I applied at doctor's offices, I applied at um, rehabs, all sorts of things, honestly. Mental health facilities. My degrees were in anthropology and psychology. I had some master's work done in psychology and vocational rehabilitation. Um, and before I was completely blind, like I said, if I went into an interview, I got hired. But I looked sighted. I could fake it really, really well. I mean, it's true, right? I could have worked for an idiot. But the person doing HR is not exactly the person you're working under either. You know, HR is kind of a different department, anyways. That, like I said, that company paid because what happened is that somebody else who worked there heard her and was fucking pissed. Um, and so they personally called me and they were like, "You need to know that this is what happened," and got me to start a court case against the company because the company, I was not the first person they had done this to. This is a trend. Okay, glad you're back. And they're a very large company. Anybody in the States would know who they are. So that actually, yeah, yeah, they had done it to several people, and I just happened to be the one who had the proof. But this was one of their employees that called me and was like, "No, this isn't okay. I can't, I can't sit and watch it happen anymore." Um, and they wanted me to really take these people to the cleaner. I didn't. I settled for a pretty low amount. Um, my thing was, it made maybe the 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 thing about it, kidney disease. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I hear you. The the thing about it was that it worked really to my advantage in the fact that that settlement was what allowed me to take the time off of work to do the healing that I needed to for the rest of my health issues, right? It bought me the medications I needed, and it gave me the time where I didn't have to work. Um, so, fuck yeah. I'm glad she was an idiot because that was the reason I was able to get better. It's true. It's true. It worked to my advantage. So, it's one of the reasons that now I work for myself. I do this. One of the No, I don't. This is the last of it. Thank God. Um, the I know this is what Rum got. 48, 48 of these. Um, when I did heal up and I was healthy enough to start work again, the school that I had worked for was no longer hiring. They had filled the position that I'd had. They didn't need anybody else. So I would have had to go back through that whole process again to try to find a job. And in the time that I had been dealing with the health crisis that I had, food was what I had put all my time and effort into. And one of the main reasons that Chondrocrostics encouraged me to go the route of food is because then I wouldn't have to convince someone else that I could do my job. I could work for myself. And all I'd have to do is give them food, and they would see that the job could be done well. So now I just feed people, and I stream, because working for myself means I don't have to convince other people I know what I'm doing, or would be able to do it. I just do it. So it's a lot better. Although I was getting to a point where I didn't know if I'd be able to wait much longer. I was like, man, we got to get some bills paid like now. Oh, guys, I'm finally done with that. I'm so happy to be done with that. All right. Um, we need to see how much time is left on. Oh, yeah. I got 2 more minutes. Um, and then as soon as that is done, then I can throw the I can throw these in because I want to have a timer free to do that. So let's load this stuff up. And this is where we get into my OCD, all right? Because I hate, I hate fat and gristle on my meat. I can't stand it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the roast out, and I'm going to strip it. I'm going to pull all of the pieces that I hate. I know, Izzy, I know everybody feels that way, but I hate it. I can't stand it texturally. It makes me crazy. So I'm gonna sit here and strip my meat. I can't stand it, guys. I can't. I know that on a level, it's wrong. I'm still doing it. I'm taking the fat and the gristle out, all of it. I'm gonna pull that meat out, and I'm gonna pull it apart, and I'm gonna remove every piece of fat and gristle, and it's gonna be annoyingly time consuming, and it's gonna be every bit worth it for me. Thank you, White Dove. I really appreciate that. I hope that things are okay. Good. Well, that will help a lot. We've got, I'm at 100%. Nice. Oh, oh, oh. Dan do what? Oh, the goal. Okay, 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 okay. Hush. Oh. Okay. These go in. Oh, it's actually quite warm in here now. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Now let's see what happens with this rice. Nobody is, White Dove. Nobody is. Ooh, oh my God. That might have worked. Did I actually pull that off? Did that work? Let's see. It's not as gloopy as last time, at least. It's still a little gloopy, but not like last time. You can't see a thing? Where does it need to go? Too much light? Oh, it's too white. Damn. Okay. Oh well. I can't fix white, unfortunately. But I think I think it's just a matter of getting the consistency right on it, that everybody's always talking about being really difficult. I think it's going to be good, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Because, like I said, they say refrigerate it for a day. Oh, that was a weird noise. It's awfully steamy. All right, I think that'll be fine. And now, meatiness. Glad you did. I hope your night goes well. Take care of yourself, please. Be safe. I hope you're not getting out there. It's not good out there. Bing. How do I go through my day? I will need more detail on what you mean. I don't know how to answer. Please be safe. Oh boy. Okay. Mhm. Let's see. I wake up probably around wake up around 4 in the afternoon, and then I wander into the kitchen and I make some coffee. I have coffee for about an hour. I usually catch up with other streamers or messages. Um, I use a computer with TTS. I use a phone with VoiceOver. I know the layout of my house, so I just kind of wander through it. I hope the people don't move my shit, and if they do, I get pissed off and yell at them. I don't really yell at them, but I tell them firmly, I wish you wouldn't do that. If somebody needs to go somewhere, like to the store, I have roommates that have cars, and they help do store runs and the like. I bathe myself, I cook, I I can do most things on my own. I just do things. I don't have a lot better of a way to describe it. But I would need to know like a specific thing to tell you a strategy or a technique that I use. Because to me, I just do stuff. Um, I need to start threatening people with a knife more so that maybe they'll stop moving my shit. On my what? Oh, my net. It's a choker. It's just a little. It's just a choker. It's like a lacy thing with a tie. Let's see. That's cool enough now. And let's pull this up. Mm-hmm. No, it's not nonsense. Some can do that. That is a very, very, very specialized skill. Generally speaking, uh, it only happens in individuals who were born blind. It's not going to be something you learn later. Now, the thing is, a lot of times, I can hear, if I speak, I can hear how large my room is. I can hear the sound get absorbed by the walls. I can hear it bounce back. If I'm walking down a hallway and there's a cross hallway, then I can hear where that cross hallway is. Now, some of these people, they can like ride a bike, okay? And that's some serious crazy shit. And I don't know how they do that. That's that's some daredevil special kind of stuff. What I do more or less just gives me a general concept of the size of a room, um, and when spaces open up around me. And it's not perfect, right? Like it depends really on how much attention you're paying. But sometimes it's like you can feel or hear a wall. Um, you're not going to be able to hear or feel a corner as well as you will a flat wall, right? If I'm walking towards a wall and I almost hit the wall, I can usually feel it. Something. I don't know how to explain it, but you just kind of feel like there's something there. But um, if it's a corner, I'm fucked. Like that'll get me. I know. I see. I think I think it's kind of a matter of it's probably something that most people could do if they were paying attention. What's fascinating to me is how much people end up missing because they depend on their eyes. You're so used to getting your information through your eyes that you don't notice the information you're missing with your ears and your hands because the brain can only really handle so much stimulation at one time. It can only break down so much information at one time, right? Um, oh yeah, cabinets are the worst. These freaking doors. This one, if I forget and leave that open, It's a nightmare. I joke with people I know who are sighted all the time about how much they miss because they're looking. One of the reasons that Contra Acrostics is as helpful, uh, not stigma. I wouldn't say there's a stigma about it, but there are types, right? Like you definitely have your categories of people who are like big into cane usage and big into dog